details are getting better. I mean, we got a long way to go, but up to this point, you know, I'm pleased with where we're at, and these next 2 weeks are going to be critical. You know, we got two real good opponents coming in, and they're both different, which I love. Just style, scheme, all of it. So today's to wrap it up. You know, this will be a big one for us.
Working with the Colts last year, what did you learn from that experience? Is there anything you want to change, modify, emphasize based on the experience last year that you can apply to the Giants this year?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's what you think it's going to be as far as the intensity goes up, you know, and the level of competition. It's a fresh look at somebody else, and I love that because camp, you got to be careful. You get into the same routine, the rut, the mundane, and you don't really ever go. You're just spinning your wheels. So this will be good for us. So it validated that, but I think also, you know, I loved what we did, but there was a couple of things that, you know, man, maybe a couple of more team periods here and there. Maybe we come together more. That was one of the things I would love to, at the very end, we're all on one field. And so our offense is watching our defense, and then we switch it, you know. And so we'll do some of that at the very end of both days, which I like. Because I think it's important that your teammates see what's going on the other side of the ball. And then just a couple of little cleanup things, you know, like last year, now we get out there to them, and we start the one-on-one periods with the backs and linebackers, and we're all the way down at one end of the field, and we can't, we're throwing into them, we got to bring them, making sure everything is set up perfectly. You know, it's not, I'm all about chaos, but not like that. You know, we're organized, man, player safety, we got people back, and we get really good work, keep them healthy, keep them up. I would say that though, Justin.
These 2 weeks are critical. Can you just explain that a little bit further? I mean, it's 2 practices, right? But why are they so valuable?
Yeah, well, they're valuable, and what I already, you know, kind of explained, just the level of competition, and it's something different, which I think is great for our guys. You know, it's no different than, you know, I mean, you get unbelievable work with, for example, Sewell and Hutch, man, going back to back, you know, over and over, but you start figuring each other out a little bit, which is awesome because you have to keep tinkering with it. Well, man, to be able to now get a different opponent, you know, you get a totally different look, and now I've got to adjust quickly to get my job done. I think those are invaluable, and a lot of it is, man, there's going to be a few players that, you know, man, this is their game. I mean, this is really their game reps. You know, that was kind of part of the allure for me too, is, man, we can really load our guys up with great looks, a lot of volume, intensity, and then they may sit in the games.
You've had a couple walkthroughs here. I don't know if that's due to the joint practices or if there's anything you just changed from last year's, you know, schedule tweak to this year. I don't know. Can you just explain that, I guess?
Yeah, just as the schedule goes. Well, no, I think more than anything, like if it's I really wanted to I would love to just keep going 8:30, but I do think one of the things going into this year was we got to be able to adapt to the schedule. You know, we got these Thursday games, we had night games, it's a Monday, it's a Thursday, it's about, you know. And so our schedule is going to continue to just evolve as we go, man. It'll be changing nonstop. So they can't ever get in I want them to never really get in a routine, if that makes sense. Or just about the time you do, then it switches on you. And I felt like this was one way to do it, you know. So, man, let's start with the walkthrough. Now you got prep to get ready for practice, and we start at 10:30. So, you know, and it was for you guys, so you can sleep in a little bit.
You had a walkthrough yesterday instead of, you know, practice, and I think you have one Monday. I didn't know if those were just general changes to the whole practice schedule based on something you learned last year, or because you have the joint practice.
Well, that's like what we do here and we've done. Like, to me, it's all about pulling the most you can out of these guys and getting real good high intensity or volume work, and then, man, back them down, and then let's ramp it back up again, you know. And so I've always had that philosophy, but it's also, that's part of it, but then knowing what's coming in here. So we, like the other day, we put over 40 reps on our starters. That's good. This time of year, I mean, to be able to do that, we got a base on them. That's how you build a foundation, because the intensity is, we're getting the intensity, and then, man, we needed the volume. That was their first heavy dose of volume. So to think we're going to be able to pull really good work yesterday out of them that's fool's gold there. So that's why it was backing down, but also knowing we're about to have 2 physical practices against the Giants in pads. So I also want them to get their legs back under them, get their bodies back, and be ready to go for those 2, because those are important. Do you like the 8 a.m. starts? Really? I got it. Well, it wasn't for you guys then.
See, like, all the season tickets sold out for the Lions for the first time in Ford Field ever, and the stuff like that keeps building. Do you feel the weight of responsibility now that you got them all cranked up, they're all coming?
No, I don't feel weight. I feel wind underneath my freaking wings, man. That's what I feel.
Truthfully?
Truthfully.
It uplifts you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this, man. This is outstanding. I love our fans. I love that, man, they feel it like we feel it. And no, this is not a burden. This is not pressure. This is not weight. This is, man, this gives me inspiration is what it does for me and our guys.
So we, and not we, but like the national media doesn't put weight on you.
No. Listen, it's always going to be, it is what it is, and stay true to what is on the tape and what our guys are saying by the way they play and our coaches. And I get, look, you guys have a job to do, so do they, but we got a job to do, and we have to stay true to what we know works and trust what our eyes see and what we feel.
Brought in Scotty Montgomery this offseason to kind of fill not just the running backs role, but the assistant head coach role. And that one's not really, it's kind of under the radar, I guess, on the outside looking in. It's been a few months now. What has he brought, to your table in this short period of time?
Yeah, listen, Scotty's a stud, man. I'm so fortunate that I was able to get him on our staff. You lose a guy like Deuce, man. You know how much I respect Deuce and what I think of him as a coach, but man, to be able to get Scotty in here has been invaluable, because there's just a number of things, like a lot of it for him is I'm going to slowly start doing more with him where he gets in front of the team, some of these things, but I want them to get to know him a little bit, and that's what started in the spring, and it's quickly coming along. But as far as it, man, he's somebody that there's these little things that'll pop up. I talked to him, I said, what would you do on this? Look, he's been around, he's seen some things, and he's a good sounding board for me. He's brought some things schematically that they did and that he's done, from the run game, but also the pass game. Just a couple of little things that they do, some of the crossing routes, things of that nature they were doing out there in Indianapolis that I think is really good. And it caught my eye when I was interviewing him 2 years ago. So he's brought that to us, and we're using some of this stuff, and it's starting to show up. So I just think he's excellent, man, the way he pushes those guys. He pushes those running backs. He demands a lot out of them. He's accountable, and he's high energy, and he's smart.
Coach, we talk a lot to players about Amon-Ra St. Brown, his work ethic. You talk about the foundational guys. When you not only from just a player perspective, from a coaching perspective, when you got a guy working that hard every single day, I guess where do you see that? What does that do for the team?
Well, it's like that to me. A guy like Saint, he sets the bar. He sets the bar, and so to me, but he has set. He's one of those pieces that sets the bar as to that's the beginning, right? That's where it is. And now, can we get above that? Because I know this. If it's below it, it ain't good enough. And because that guy, the way he comes out every day, man, he has not changed one bit since he was a rookie. I mean, he does all the same things that has validated what he's done. And the production that's come by the way that he works. He just goes, man. And it's every little thing, every little detail. He finishes. You see him pre-practice. You see him post-practice. He didn't change one thing. And when you do that, there's no way he's not going to have a big year. There's no way, because he's not changed one thing, you know. And I know this: if I'm a young guy, I'm watching him every play. I would be. They should be. So he's unbelievable. He really is, man. And my biggest fear is that, you know, I don't ever want to take him for granted, because sometimes you just, you know, he's gonna always be there. He's always gonna make a play. He's always gonna, you know. And I appreciate about him and that about him. So he's something else, man.
Yeah, we were talking about the volume and intensity of the last practice. I'm just wondering, with the new athletic training staff, what's been your early assessment of what they've been doing?
They've done great. I love Fish, man. Fish and Mike Sundin, you know, our head trainer. I think we have a clear vision, you know, on, you know, just really getting these players recovery, rehabilitation. I think we push the boundaries of modern medicine in a good way. But we're smart about it, and I think the combination of those guys, along with Mike Clark, you know, who's really the head of our sports performance, those guys all together, man, I think we're doing some really good things, man. And I think our guys believe it. They're buying into it. They're doing the work, and I think it's going to pay dividends as the season gets closer.
Dan, over the past couple of years, the team has added roughly 5 guys between the XFL and USFL. How important is it to have like leagues like that to get another look at guys who aren't able to stay on a NFL roster, just so you can see what they can do and bring them into the team?
It's invaluable. It's invaluable. And part of me is like, man, you guys remember NFL Europe? I mean, I told the guys this story about a week ago, but it was, I mean, two names, Leroy Glover and Marco Rivera. And they were both, you know, late draft picks, and they were just kind of the guys that needed more, you know, they're not, who knows, we kind of like them, they're promising, but man, they need to play. Send them over to Europe for the spring, they come back, and next thing you know, Leroy Glover is all-decade team. You know, he's unbelievable. Marco Rivera, all-pro guard for Green Bay for years, you know, and man, I think it's the development, man, to be able to play and then find this talent and bring them in. And now let's see if they can play at this level against this I think it's huge. It's big. Because ultimately, you can try to develop, you can do all these things, but if you can't play the game and get reps after reps of real-time game, it's hard to accelerate it. It's hard. You only have 3 preseason games. I'm not. I would love to, but I'm trying to win. So.